Hi friends, my name is Nilanjan Ghosh and today I will be doing a preview of Australian Open 2017 Tennis Championships. Now this year the Australian Open promises to be a very exciting event because we have a great mix of young and experienced players participating in the men's draw. I will be previewing the men's championship today and we'll be doing a separate preview of our women's championships later. This year, we have the usual four suspects, the big four of the ATP: Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and Murray. Murray is the number one seed, the new world number one. He took over the world number one ranking from Djokovic in the final match of 2016, and Djokovic would be really eager to take it back. Murray is, of course, the top seed. He has recently been knighted for his contributions to sport and especially the sport of tennis. Now, Murray starts off as the top seed. He has a relatively easy draw in the beginning. He is in Federer's quarter. Uh, Basically, he and Federer could meet in the round of 16 or in the quarterfinals. And it would be interesting to see how he fares against Federer and the rest in his quarter and whether he can get through to the semifinals. Now, Novak Djokovic, for his part, is the six-time champion in Melbourne Park, and he always goes well in Melbourne. He would be eager to get the world number one ranking back from Murray, and this would be a great place to start. Especially, Djokovic has recently just beaten Murray in the Doha final in three sets, although it was a very close match, but Djokovic came through. So this would be a great place for Djokovic to start to maybe possibly get the world number one ranking back from Andy Murray. Now, apart from Djokovic and Murray, the two other more illustrious members of the Big Four, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, are coming off long injury layoffs. To begin with, Rafa, he is seeded ninth in the event, and he is coming off a wrist injury layoff. His last tournament was in October, and then he just ended his season. Rafa is seeded ninth, and he is in the same quarter as world number three Milos Raonic, so it would be a tough quarter to get through. Rafa started this year in Abu Dhabi. He won the exhibition event in Abu Dhabi, but he beat Raonic in the final there. However, he lost to Raonic in the very next tournament, that is Brisbane. He lost to Raonic there in Brisbane in the quarterfinals, and again is actually in the same quarter as Milos Raonic. So it will be interesting to see how Rafa fares against the people in his quarter. But I expect Rafa to get at least till the quarterfinals, where I guess Raonic will take care of him. He will beat Rafa and reach the semis. We'll see how it goes, but on form, Raonic should beat Rafa. Even though both their matches, like Abu Dhabi and Brisbane, were very close affairs. They were both three sets, and Rafa won in Abu Dhabi, and then Raonic won in Brisbane because Raonic has won the most recent match with Rafael Nadal, and he is the number three seed, the world number three, so he should prevail in their quarterfinal encounter. Now, then we have Roger Federer, who is the number 17 seed. Now, that is a very low seed for Roger Federer because he has been out since basically the Wimbledon semifinals. He didn't play after that because of a back injury. Now, Roger Federer would have been seated in the top 16 seeds had Grigor Dimitrov not won in Brisbane, but Grigor Dimitrov, ranked 17th, won the Brisbane title over the past weekend and basically moved up a couple of places to 15th, and that bumped Roger down to 17th. 17th seed, of course, means Federer would have to face one of the top 16 seeds in round three. So that would be a very tough affair. He is in the same quarter as Andy Murray, but he would face Andy Murray in the quarterfinals, not before that. Apart from the big four, there we have Stan Wawrinka, who over the past 3 or so years has emerged as one of the great big match players. He has a very powerful serve. He has a great forehand. He has that wonderful one-handed backhand which he can take either way, go cross court or down the line. And the good thing about Wawrinka is, as the tournament progresses, his game keeps improving. He faces some hiccups in the initial few rounds, but once the tournament progresses, Wawrinka just keeps improving, and more than often than not, in the past 3 years, he has gone all the way in the Grand Slams if he reaches the semis. So expect him to do that and make a very deep run this year as well. Now, among the other contenders, Milos Raonic, of course, is seeded number three. He is the Wimbledon finalist. He is a very good player. He has the booming serve, great forehand. He The past record at Melbourne Park is mixed, but Raonic is quite an up and coming player. Is not that experienced, but the world number three, I expect him to do very well. He is in Nadal's quarter. He is, and the next also there's Gael Monfils in his quarter, but Raonic should come through that quarter to the semifinals. it will be interesting to see how Raonic fares, but I expect him to do very well in Melbourne this year. Now, next year, next year would be this year, the going forward, it would be very difficult to judge how Federer and Nadal are actually playing based on just this tournament. I think because when you come off a long injury layoff, it's interesting to see whether how you fare, and all the fans are very excited about Federer and Nadal. But I think Australian Open would just give an indication of whether they are on the right track. But we should give them, I think, at least 2 to 3 months to see, to basically assess where they are with their game and with their fitness. Among the other contenders, seeds 5 to 6 are occupied by Kei Nishikori, Gael Monfils, Marin Cilic, and Dominic Thiem. Among those, Kei Nishikori was the finalist in Brisbane. He lost to Grigor Dimitrov, so he should be in good form, should do well. Gael Monfils is always a bit of an iffy contender. Depends on which Gael Monfils shows up. If he's focused, he's intense, he's aggressive, going for his shots, then he should do well. Otherwise, sometimes he has a tendency to be lackadaisical and just retreat way behind the baseline and just rally. If that happens, he can just go through the motions for an initial few rounds, but then he would just fade out and not do too well. But so we'll see what happens with Gael Monfils. It's always a dicey prospect with him. Marin Cilic has always gone well here as number 7 seed. He should at least justify his seeding and get to the quarterfinals. I expect him to do that. Uh, it will be interesting to see how he goes once he's in the quarterfinals, but I expect Cilic to do very well here, at least have a decent run to the quarterfinals. Now, Dominic Thiem, he is the highest seed amongst the ATP's next gen stars, which includes people like Nick Kyrgios, which includes people like Alexander Zverev, Lucas Pouille, and of course Grigor Dimitrov is enjoying mid-career resurgence, but you can put him in the next gen category as well. But Dominic Thiem, for his part, is number 8 seed. His best surface is clay, but I feel that the slow medium pace plexicushion courts would suit his aggressive game style as well. Uh, Among the other contenders, I talked about the young guns. Nick Kyrgios of course, is in his home slam. He is coming off shoulder injury though. Beat Rafa in the recent exhibition event, Fast Four tennis exhibition event in Sydney, 3-1, and says that the shoulder is okay. So expect Nick Kyrgios and his powerful game to do some damage, because he is surrounded by players who are very talented, but nobody can match him in firepower in his section of the draw. So Nick Kyrgios can make a deep run and at least go to the round of 16. Now, the other contenders among the young guns would be, I think, the number 16 seed Lucas Pouille. He beat Nadal at the US Open in a very tough 5-setter. So expect Pouille to do well. And then I'm very excited about the number 24th seeded German teenager Alexander Zverev, or Sasha Zverev. Zverev recently beat Roger Federer at the Hopman Cup in Perth, and looks a very good prospect for this tournament and for the rest of the year. But expect him to do very well. He is in Nadal's section of the draw and should expect to meet Rafa in round 3. So that would be a blockbuster round 3 match at the end of the first week, maybe the first weekend. So set up your popcorn match. That could be a popcorn match for the first weekend. It would be interesting to see how that goes. Maybe the first upset, but I still expect Rafa to come through and beat Zverev. So that is my overall prediction for the tournament. I expect the seedings to mostly prevail, and expect the 4 semifinalists, the top 4 seeds, Andy Murray, Novak Djokovic, Milos Raonic, and Stan Wawrinka to come through the respective quarters. However, in the semifinals, Raonic and Djokovic in the semifinals, Djokovic should prevail and beat Raonic and go through to the final. Wawrinka, on the other hand, I predict will beat Murray and get to the finals, and in the finals, Stan Wawrinka would beat Novak Djokovic. Like he did at the U.S. Open, that trend would continue. Stan Wawrinka, with his big match play, would beat Novak Djokovic and win his second Australian Open in 2017. So that is my prediction for the tournament. Let's see how it goes. I am really excited to watch the tournament, and would be posting another review of the first week and doing a preview of the second week next weekend. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give your likes and comments, and please try to keep them constructive. I always appreciate feedback and someone who can identify areas of improvement, and I will try to incorporate your suggestions and feedback as much as possible. Now, at the end of the day, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.